The courtroom sat in tense silence, the kind that presses against your chest, making every breath feel heavier than the last, as all eyes fell upon a small, fragile girl seated at the witness stand, 10-year-old Emily Carter, her feet dangling above the floor, fingers clenched tightly around a worn stuffed animal resting in her lap. She wasn't just another child, she was a quiet storm, a soul carrying invisible weight, one shaped by the loss of her mother 2 years prior, which had stolen more than just warmth from her life, it had taken her voice too. Diagnosed with selective mutism, Emily could speak freely at home but shut down in public, especially when afraid, and the courtroom, bright lights, murmuring strangers, and the cold gaze of a man accused of unthinkable crimes, was more than intimidating. That man, Charles Dunley, wasn't just a neighbor, he was a respected, powerful figure in town, and his crimes had gone unnoticed, hidden beneath layers of charm and privilege, until Emily came forward, the only witness who had seen him when no one else had. But Emily couldn't speak her truth the way others did. She needed help. That help came in the form of Bear, her golden retriever, not just a loyal companion but her trained emotional support dog and scent identifier. Bear had been through every therapy session, every sleepless night, sensing her fear, soothing her pain, understanding her silence. As Emily sat in court, the prosecutor gently asked her to recount what she had seen, and the room held its breath as she opened her mouth, and no words came. The judge, compassionate and wise, offered the presence of Bear, and with a quiet nod from Emily, the golden retriever was led in, his harness reading service dog, working, but it was the fire in his eyes that said he had a job to do. Bear walked calmly to Emily, nudged her leg gently, and she gave him a signal, 2 soft taps on her thigh. In an instant, Bear's demeanor changed. He sniffed the air, then turned and walked, tail steady, directly toward the defense table, stopping only when he reached Dunley, and sat, rigid and still, eyes locked onto the man's face. Gasps erupted. Reporters froze. The judge slammed her gavel. The prosecutor stood and explained that Emily had trained with Bear using the scent of a glove recovered at the scene of the crime, a glove bearing the perpetrator's scent, and the signal she had just given was to let Bear identify that same scent in the courtroom. And he had found it, on Charles Dunley. But the most shocking moment came after the explanation, when Emily raised her head and, voice quivering but present, finally said, "I saw him, he said my name. I was hiding when he dropped the glove." Those few words, barely a whisper, carried more weight than entire testimonies. The courtroom fell still, the illusion of Dunley's innocence shattered by the brave voice of a child and the unwavering loyalty of a dog. Over the following days, new evidence emerged supporting Emily's account, and 2 more victims stepped forward, encouraged by her strength. Dunley eventually confessed in a plea deal, his empire of silence collapsing. But the story didn't end in that courtroom. Emily, once silent, became a symbol of courage across the nation. Her story went viral, sparking conversations about trauma, disability, courtroom reforms, and the healing power of animals. The town declared Emily Carter Day, and Bear was honored alongside her. She began speaking publicly with Bear at her side, reminding other children, "You don't have to be loud to be brave." Years later, Emily became a child psychologist, devoting her life to helping others find their voice. In her office hung a photo, 10-year-old Emily and Bear in court, side by side, the moment the world learned that truth doesn't always roar, sometimes, it whispers, and sometimes, it barks.